too lost, and that you're too used up, and that you're too broken, he still wants you, and he still wants to use you. Right now is the perfect time. Right now is an awesome time. Right now is an awesome opportunity to be a light. To be a light in this darkness. To be a light in this world. I'll tell you this, good people need Jesus. Bad people needs Jesus. Everybody needs Jesus, regardless. And he will use anyone who is willing. Anyone, no matter how broken and busted up you think you are. You've heard so many beautiful testimonies here. Angela has a beautiful, amazing, extraordinary testimony. And then Travis, his testimony. Doesn't that just make your heart beat? Because it's that hope. Remember, we talked about that hope. It's that hope that Christ can still take something. Because that's what he does. He takes something. He takes clay. He takes this dirty, nasty, icky clay, and he sticks his fingers all up in it, and he makes beautiful things. He chooses to put his treasure in clay pots. He chooses to put his treasure in you. Last night at UPike, again, there was, I'm not a student there, I'm there in to which I should be a student, but I'm not. But there was a biblical archaeologist giving a presentation about his findings in Jericho. So there were actual artifacts from Israel, from Jericho, and it was pottery. And it was really, really cool, because this was already in my heart, so this was something that was already resonating with my spirit. You take a vase, you take a pot, or you take anything, and you put a candle inside of it. What happens to the light? It's gone. But if you take a pot that has a few pings and a few dents and a few cracks, and you put a light inside of it, it shines through. That's what we are. Let God shine through your brokenness. Don't hide it. Don't hide his light.
Well, hello, I'm Pastor Jerry O'Brien, and I'm down here in the heart of the Appalachian Mountains in a coal mining town of Williamson, West Virginia. That sounds like I'm from someplace that I've just heard about. Actually, it's where I grew up. This is the field house I used to play basketball in. I was down here in October, and the Lord had me come down here to share a message about an outpouring, an awakening that was going to take place in the Elisha generation. That's the generation that followed Elijah. So we are the Elijah with the J, and they are the Elijah without the J. And I'm here with Natasha. She is one of the worship leaders that have been helping fan the flames of worship as this awakening has been flowing here. Why don't you just tell us what's going on? I mean, man, there's some radical things that are going on here.
What's going on are the things that you only hear about, but it's happening here in Williamson. It's something that this region has longed for and has hungered for. The underground, the worship leaders, the pastors, and the preachers, it's the revival that they've been praying for. This area has been broken and has been busted, and it's because of the economy, and people have turned to so many things to refill and replenish the hope in their hearts. And finally, they've turned to Jesus, the only true hope, the only one hope, the only true answer.
Wow.
And that's why it has broken and has spread out like fire, because he's an all-consuming fire.
Yeah. And you know, here's the radical thing. It's not just in the church walls. This is happening in schools. It's happening on a football field.
Yes.
It's happening in workplaces.
Yes.
You know, and that's exactly what Isaiah said in Isaiah chapter 2, verse 2. He said that in the last days that God was going to exalt. He said the mountains of the Lord's house be exalted above the hills and established on the mountaintops, and all nations would be drawn to it. And that seems like what's happening here.
That's what's happening.
It looks like that
Really
God is bringing the middle school, the high school, the young adults, and you guys are actually that Elisha generation, right?
And it's spreading, and it's pouring out, and it's going to bleed over into the surrounding counties.
Wow. Well, look right into that camera and speak to your generation.
You are not too far lost. You are not too broken. You are just like your father and your grandfather, your mother and your grandmother before. You can be used by God.
Awesome, awesome.
He wants you. He wants to use you with all of his heart. Just turn to him wholeheartedly and just say, yes, Lord.
Awesome. Well, listen, you've heard it right from the center, or what called ground zero. She is one of the worship leaders that is helping lead this worship. But we want you to understand something. It's not just happening here. It can happen right there with you. Well, I want to thank you for, you keep up the good work, and we'll be back down again to report on it. God bless you. This is Pastor Jerry O'Brien reporting from Williamson, West Virginia.
Amen.
Come on, give it up for Colin! I'm taking back what the devil stole. Alright. Breaking chains out of bondage that I have heard about my soul.